greatest potential. And fear can take on many forms. If you're in a state of fear most of the time, then your life experiences manifest out of this fundamental state. So in very real terms, the more afraid we are, the less intelligent we become in that moment. And we've temporarily inhibited or at least greatly reduced our power to make logical choices. So Trap 10 is about, it's very in-depth because it's trying to summarize the whole program and go to the core of what our greatest challenge is. And it talks about the positive aspect of fear because it does help us in life-threatening situations and help us make decisions in a
Yes.
moment. But the way that fear is a problem for us is that for most people, we're in a fearful state most of the time. We feel threatened moment to moment. Our fear is caused by a host of factors, health concerns, aging, not having enough money, the possibility of losing our jobs, the safety of our children. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We're afraid of what others think of us. It is very rare for our mind to be in a peaceful and restful state. And
Right.
Trap 10 goes on to also enlighten the listener to become aware of who the outside influences are that work very hard at creating this perpetual cycle of fear in us. Because if we stay afraid, then they can control us. So in Trap 10, you learn in detail who some of these influences are, because as we've discussed, the first step is awareness. And to move out of a fearful state requires that we first become aware of when we are in it and why, and then we learn how to change it through the tools, questions, and practices in the Free Yourself Now guidebook. So it's a big one,
very
big
good.
one, Steve.
Well, very good. In a way, I mean, I somewhat described the same thing. I just didn't come out and say what you got to watch out for is the dragon, but you're absolutely correct. And I actually start my programs that way. I don't wait until the end. I mean, there's no wrong and right way to do this, but I get clarity with people about the two choices. It's either spirit or dragon, and you either learn how to turn the light on to the dragon, because dragons don't like the light. They go back into their cave. and you don't want to go in there with them because you can't win there. You will always lose if you go with the dragon into the cave. So that's really how I start my work, with that type of a clarity. But it doesn't matter really, I don't think, where you do it, beginning or end or in the middle. It has to be addressed, and it has to be, people have to really get it, like get it in their, not just in their intellect, but get it in their beingness, because that's what this is. This is a being thing, not a feeling, a being thing, not an intellectual. You can't intellectualize this stuff. Then it's just a book. And it won't make a difference.
No, it's definitely about experiencing it, and the whole program. I mean, it's interwoven with fear because you can't isolate it. But
Yeah.
Trap 10 really hones in on fear and what it does to us, and the guidebook helps bring to the surface what our greatest fears are and how to alleviate them, how to move past them. And I know we don't have a lot of time left, but a lot of our fear comes from outside influences, like the media. And I actually talk a lot about the pharmaceutical industry. Because if you look at most of the advertising on television, it has to do with all of the ailments and everything that's wrong with us, and making it seem so normal that all of these things are wrong with us, and putting us in a fearful state constantly. So it's becoming aware of who these outside influences are, so you can program into your life, into your thoughts, what you want instead of somebody else programming it as well.
Yeah, right on. And the way I really describe it, Karen, is, after we are born, how innocent we are, but it doesn't matter how innocent we look, how innocent we seem to show up as a baby. Game is already over. We don't have a chance from the beginning.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean, Steve. Could you elaborate, please?
Yes, I would love to. Because